Welcome! In the world of subscription medicine, there's this one phrase you hear all the time. It sounds super patient-friendly, right? But as we're about to dig into, that very promise might actually be causing some serious, behind-the-scenes damage to the businesses that use it.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. You can leave anytime. On the surface, what's not to love? It signals freedom, no long-term contracts, none of that red tape. But could this constant focus on the exit door be undermining the doctor-patient relationship before it even gets a chance to start? Let's unpack that.
All right, first things first. We have to understand why this phrase got so popular to begin with. For these direct pay and subscription practices, it feels like the perfect way to stand out from the crowd.
And honestly, the logic is solid. It's all about building trust and being transparent. It's basically saying, hey, we are so confident in the care we provide that we don't need to lock you in. It's a clear shot at the old bureaucratic system that so many patients are just fed up with. It positions the practice as the good guy, the patient-first choice.
But, and you knew there was a but, this is where the plot thickens. The source material we're looking at today points to something it calls the churn concern. That's the unintended negative side effect of this very positive-sounding message. And wow, this quote just nails the risk, doesn't it? What starts out as just a small thing in your marketing, like a little case of the sniffles, can grow into a really serious systemic problem for the health of your practice. It might seem harmless at first, but it can become way more damaging down the line.
So what are these consequences exactly? Let's break down the negative ideas and the subtle messages that all this talk about leaving can accidentally create.
Just think about it from a potential patient's point of view for a second. If the first thing you tell them is how easy it is to leave, they might start wondering, why are they so focused on that? Is there a reason I'd want to leave? It can project this sense of insecurity, like the practice is already expecting people to walk out the door. The real magic of this kind of healthcare is that continuous, trust-based relationship that gets built over months and years. But when all the marketing is focused on the option to cancel, you're unintentionally chipping away at the very idea of a long-term health partnership.
At the end of the day, what you're doing is training patients to see their doctor's office like a gym membership or a streaming service. It becomes just another transaction they can cancel anytime. It completely shifts the dynamic from a trusted professional guide to just a replaceable service.
And when your biggest selling point is the freedom to leave, it kind of hints that you might not have other, stronger reasons for them to stay. Like, amazing service, innovative care, or that rock-solid trust. All the focus goes to the exit strategy instead of the actual value you provide.
So, what's the solution? Well, the really interesting thing is, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We can just look at what the most successful subscription companies on the planet are already doing.
Seriously, ask yourself this. When was the last time Netflix sent you an email reminding you that you could cancel your account?
Yeah, never. They just don't do it. And there's a very, very smart reason for that.
And here it is. This is the fundamental difference. While some medical practices are talking about the exit, these giants are relentlessly, obsessively focused on retention. They don't remind you that you can leave. They flood you with new shows, personalized playlists, and next-day shipping to make sure the thought of leaving never even crosses your mind.
And that right there, that's the whole mindset shift. It's not about making it easy to leave. It's about making it absolutely irresistible to stay. The entire focus is on showing you overwhelming, non-stop value.
So, how can a medical practice actually use this lesson? Well, it's all about reframing the conversation, moving it away from departure and putting it squarely on the value of that doctor-patient relationship.
The strategy here is pretty simple, actually. First, just stop talking about the exit. Then, pour all that energy into communicating the incredible value you provide every single day. And finally, project total confidence in the quality of your care and your business model.
So instead of "you can leave anytime," imagine saying something like these. They focus on earning trust, on being confident in your value. These phrases communicate the same freedom, but they do it from a position of strength, highlighting all the positive reasons to stick around.
It really all boils down to this. Your words create your reality. They tell a story about your practice. And the goal is to tell a story of stability, of undeniable value, and of a true long-term partnership in health.
And that's really the final question to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own messaging. Does it tell a story of a temporary transactional arrangement? Or does it build the foundation for a lasting, valuable, and deeply trusted relationship? The answer to that could make all the difference. That's it for this explainer.